Alright, TLDW. In order for multiple overviews to be enabled, you need Photon UI enabled. In December 13th, when they released this to Tranquility, they will reset our opt-out to opt-in again. So we have to opt out all over again. And all you'll need to do is opt out of Photon UI. It'll automatically opt you out of multiple overviews. There are a bunch of stuff that is interesting, and a bunch of stuff that is crap. Even if you set compact as much as you cannot get to the functionality of most Eve players needing functional drone windows, functional overview, functional inventory with sidebar able to be open and closed at will. You won't get multiple overviews, but at the same time, you won't be able to have two different styles of overviews from two different authors. You can't import one and then make that a new window, and then import another for the base one and have them interact together. No, you won't be able to do that. I don't think you ever will, based on the way it's the underlying mechanics look like they're working. You won't get the anomalies category for columns. There are some interesting stuff for compact mode, but it's still not as functional as the base. So unfortunately, they are teasing with us with all the new stuff is for Photon, but yeah, I'm gonna stick with classic. And they bragged about 80% or something of players having it enabled. That was for the first day, and we don't know what they mean by players. And they said it's grown steadily, but I think there's metrics for that. I think it's 7% new players. Actually, I think it's more. I think there's since October 11th, for over a month, maybe 6 weeks, the population has grown by 7% of active players. New players that have no idea they can disable the crappy UI and have a better one that's more functional. Their concept of functionality is the current UI is functional, so many players have asked why we chose to embark on a large project like this. And if you read into that word, that it's different than how I just described functionality and the rest of the universe describes functionality. That is their concept of function. We want more. We want to give more. We want to give the players more. Why do you want a skeleton when we can give a broken skeleton? We can give you so much more. And it's like, you don't even understand the word function, right? So, yeah. People unclear on the concept of, basically. So the rest of the video is me getting excited.
A few moments later,
that a picture might paint 1,000 words, that it wasn't indented, that it gave me the idea that throughout all of this it wasn't explicit until the fine print, if you have Photon enabled. And honestly, I should have realized that when they were talking about the title, but it was confusing. They're not very good at. They're great at marketing. They're great at lying to us, and they're great at lying to themselves, and they're great at being ignorant. I don't call it innocent ignorance anymore. I wouldn't call it malicious ignorance. I just call it cynical ignorance. So, yeah. You can listen to the rest of the video. Just do be aware I really get excited And it's interesting to see
A
how
few moments later.
thought that you could have multiple overviews with the classic UI. But other than that, yeah, have a good day. Welcome to welcome to my browser. I'm Major Freak. So yeah, another dev blog or news item or whoop-de-doo, right? Oh god, here we go again. So, what I like to do, typically, like the ideal for me blathering on, is seeing something, I go, okay, improving Photon UI. Oh, great. So, the overview. We're getting multiple overviews, but two things hit you right away if you're paying attention. It says improving Photon UI, so it'll only be available for Photon UI. And functional. So we've got two information bits right off the bat. The way they're going to force us into Photon UI if we want to use multiple overviews, and it's showing us how they think. CCP's idea of immersion, and we've seen it, they've explicitly bragged about the new NPE cutscene as being immersive. You know, strap you in, force you down a scripted path. That's immersion to them. That's what they consider immersive when they force feed you something and you're straitjacketed in. That to them means immersion. I'm not making this shit up. They literally said this is immersive. That's how they consider immersion, through that lens alone. And their lens for functional is adequate, is bare minimum, is subsistence, basically. Yeah, the current UI is functional, not we use it functionally. What functions, like, for instance, when I see this article, I go, I went on a tangent. The ideal for me when I see something like this, an article or a string of words by CCP, a word salad, I go, what do I want out of this? I see multiple overviews. What would I use it for? So I can think of only one instance of needing fighters on your overview. You know, when they launch fighters, or say if you want to see a mobile depot, for instance, just one of those alert things you need to see. The Oracle's planting a depot, we need to kill it, or somebody's trying to anchor a sinusoidal disruption thing, or there's a sino just dropped, we gotta take care of that. Stuff like that. And that would be kind of like all points bulletin, we need to take care of that, They just launched fighters, or, and that's my idea, like right off the top of my head, of why I would need a second one, really. It's something, that I need to, if you're in combat, right? Well, you wouldn't need more. Now, having said that, the reason to keep Windows at an absolute minimum, like not have 16 billion chat windows, is lag. Multiple tabs cause lag. Multiple windows cause lag. Yeah, I mean, just look at their new Upwell clusterfuck of a docking extravaganza. The living universe at FanFest, and if you listen close, there were told us it was at first, quote unquote air quotes, that it was. She didn't say air quotes. At first, it was going to be their promise of you'll see other players docked, but I think that's bullshit. Um, I think it's always going to be just seeing your inventory. That's it. If you have lots of ships there, you'll see lots of ships in the hangar. Otherwise, no. And it'll always be that way. There, it's just living universe. Yeah, take a hike, CCP. You freaking sorry. Anyways, so that would be something I would think of. What would be useful to me, and would it be worth me enabling Photon UI? No way in hell. Um, you know, no way in hell. They'll eventually strip us of the ability to, like, we're all hoping, I think we're all hoping that it's just going to be like the map beta. You know, you can always try the new map, and that's been that way for years and years and years, probably over a decade, you know? And I think a lot of us is migrating to the new map because you can minimize, you can scale it, right? It's functional, right? Not the idea of CCP's functional, which is bare freaking minimum. Oh, it works. We're like, we resize, we regroup, we readjust, we move windows in order to maintain functionality while minimizing that sort of spreadsheets in space. And CCP thinks, oh, spreadsheets in space, let's just sex up the spreadsheets. And it's like, oh my god, not more space. Yeah, and so their idea of functional, when you say functional to them, they mean, oh, they're complaining about the bare minimum. Well, why would you want the bare minimum when we can give you so much more? And it's like, no. All right, so without further ado, let's see what other gems these guys barf out. Oh my goodness, they didn't say random X insert condescension capsuleers. Thank God for that. Well, that's one good thing. Alright, so Photon is a massive undertaking to overhaul the EVE user interface. The current UI is functional, so so many players have asked why we chose to embark on a large project like this. Yeah, see? Because more. During its 20-year development, EVE has seen, oh my god, during its 20-year barf bag of random nerfs every patch and improvements, quote air quotes, every patch. 20-year development. During its 20-year dragged out, beaten up development, EVE has seen many features, and many features go, like the jukebox, all with specific user interface needs. Really? Well, thank God. You really? What? Really? That's what I thought a feature was. Some of these features have pushed the UI into new territory. Really? Exploring new ways to improve the interface, but not always with an established design language in mind. I thought the old, what? Design, what do you mean? No, always with the established design language in mind. You mean you just threw garbage at it? Is that what you're admitting? Wow, amazing. This has made parts of the UI less than cohesive, even confusing, and difficult to master. For you, or are you talking about us now? In addition, maintaining many UI styles is ineffective, leading to increased development time. I know they're talking about, what is it, Quasar versus the old way, but wasn't the old way just stackless Python? I'm not a programmer, but in addition, maintaining many UI styles is ineffective. Wouldn't that be inefficient? Leading to increased development time. Yeah, because having a cookie cutter is great, isn't it? Jesus. Always remember that the marketing people write this crap, not the devs, because the devs are busy coding. Last year saw the formation of a dedicated user experience team. They love their teams, don't they? It's just like, really, whose primary responsibility would be the in-space experience of EVE Online. Really, you're gonna take us to outer space then? Great, thanks. As Eve, like, seriously, it's like in-space experience. Wow. As Eve's user interface allows access to nearly every feature while in space, there was a lot to consider. Wow, they really are selling. It's like, wow, a little bit of try harder. Efficiency and they finally used the word efficiency. Efficiency and sustainability need to be considered. Sustainability. Oh, cookie cutter stuff. Oh, so important little muffins. Not only from a development and technology point of view, but also on a user experience level. Well, they wouldn't want to forget about us. This is all part of Eve Evolved. Oh, right. You used Eve Evolved. Good for you. You almost forgot that word, didn't you? And setting Eve Online up for a third decade. Yes, their grand master plan. Oh, right. Yeah, you sold us that bullshit. That ship has sailed, sunk, and yeah. I'm quoting The Witcher. I saw a clip last night. It was pretty funny. The bard talking about. Yeah. At this point, all the different UI styles needed to be realigned so the actual UI improvements would be built on a solid foundation. Oh, Jesus. At this point, all the different UI styles need to be realigned so the actual UI improvements would build on a solid foundation. I don't consider cookie cutter ease of programming for the poor little snookums at CCP to be a solid foundation. You know? That's not what I consider a solid foundation at all. I don't think any of you would. This is particularly important given that we would be touching upon the interfaces of many more features, oh god, in the future, and tackling one of the most complex aspects of the of EVE Online's interface, the HUD. Jesus. So are they using the HUD in the sense of something more than simply the capacitor orb? That because that's what you get when they talk about their Windows. That's the HUD. They call this the HUD. So they just blurted out that this is the HUD. Well, thank you for joining the rest of the universe in the usage of the word HUD, which would include the overview. Really? The most complex aspect of EVE's online interface, the HUD. Really? Wow, aren't you geniuses? Well, we had no idea, CCP. Yeah. Dirt, graphics, game, flying, space. It's complex. Idiots. The different UI styles implemented in certain features over the years were all pulling in different directions. Not only complicating design decisions, but also causing confusion and frustration for players. Now, the issue here is that they're not telling us which specific things are polarized. Like, polarize the issue. give us an example of one style that's completely different than another style in the game, and tell us why that doesn't lead to a solid foundation, right? Like, tell us why that's a shaky foundation. Like, give an example, but they're obviously not, right? Like, I want to be proven wrong, right? Let's, this is obviously a reaction video for me going, this is bullshit. You guys aren't telling us this. You're teasing us with slow reveal of catchy phrase words, but you're not actually polarizing the issue for us and saying, look, this is an example of what we feel is a non-solid foundation of two styles that are much too different from each other. And we're like, oh, okay, yeah, that totally makes sense, CCP. And instead they're like, cookie cutter, we want cookie cutter, morons. Okay, the goal is to make the UI more how long do we have? Oh god, I'm not even halfway through. The goal is to make the UI more intuitive, accessible, and coherent, but not customizable. While crafting an inspiring sci-fi user experience. Wow. As such, a solid design system for the UI was needed, and thus Photon was chosen the first big project. Wait, what? As such, a solid design system for the UI was needed, and thus Photon was chosen as the first big project. Drinks. Jesus Christ. First and only thing that's listed in the features preview. Remember when they came out with it? It was like, look at all these features we can blah, and there was like one, and that's the one thing. And remember, CCP is known for just using something and beating the dead horse and then ripping it out, like literally ripping stuff out, deleting code once they're done with the little tease, and that's it. It's just a big freaking tease. So it's not, yeah. God help us if they find another big project, right? Yeah. Well, it would be nice if they frittered away their design teams on Eve instead of other stupid games that never work out because they're a bunch of yeehaw trendy idiots. Yeah, Hilmar was the original CTO, not the original CEO. He was the original CTO, and his addiction to first-person shooters is just hilariously inept and is what drags the company down all the time. And his penchant for frittering away his design teams, but at the same time ordering those design teams to still work on Eve. Yeah, that's how we got Walking in Stations. And that's how they got fired. Not us, them. Always remember that. Never forget. Alright, it also involves looking at the UI framework and improving the underlying technologies. Resolving or limiting any technical debt. Oh, okay. So you introduced the idea of technical debt. Well, don't worry. We have 2 decades of technical debt and in build, but we're what? What do the states Congress do all the time? Adjusting the debt limit, the debt ceiling. Yes, the debt ceiling, and removing as many inconsistencies as possible. Lol. So they just want to get rid of cookie cutters. I mean, not. Sorry, they want to just make more cookie cutters. Yay. Ooh, look, multiple overviews. But isn't that part of... Wait, what? Wait a minute. What? So we can disable Photon but have multiple overviews active? Wait, I'm wrong. Oh, that'd be great if I was wrong. It says improving Photon UI. Maybe I'm reading this in the wrong way. Maybe the title lied to me. I don't know. Wait, weren't they talking about making a design language? But what are the design language that then Quasar is making this possible for? What? The fuck? Huh? Okay, so such a solid design system for the UI was needed, and thus Photon was chosen as the first big project. So multiple UI overviews is the second big project. A design system more like design style, or a design system more than a style guide for designs. Well, not according to you. Your actions, not your words. It also involves looking at the UI framework and improving as many underlying technologies, eliminating any technical debt, and removing as many inconsistencies possible. So that it was just a big tease until now? So yes, I know that. Click on, like, let us read the... It was apparent that a new way to engage with players to gather feedback was needed, as the UI must serve as a multiple different playstyles and situations, not to gather feedback. So this, yes, we know your stated intention to give feedback. Oh, look, we can give feedback. You mean they want bug reports and everything else can just, take a hike, right? Not to mention the vast array of hardware we support. Oh, you poor babies. Ultimately, the UI is for the players, and it was important to us to co-develop with them. Wow, we're stakeholders. We therefore felt it was imperative to get the ideas into players' hands as quickly as possible. Test servers are usually only used by a small portion of the user base in EVE and the game industry in general, so we decided to allow players to opt in to test the new features on the actual live server using their main characters and going about their normal daily activities. This new approach was formalized into the feature preview system, and the Photon was released as an opt-in beta in early May. Yeah, you keep telling us. Right. Well, now it's an opt-out. But soon it'll be, oh, we're just going to remove this because it serves its purpose. Bye! Adoption rate of Photon UI grew steadily. Well, when you force the opt-out on us, 80% of players are using it. Well, yeah, 80% of active players haven't bothered to undock and deal with your screw-up, and or they just don't know how to fix the issue. And they don't care. They just probably just log on to get rewards and log back off. Adoption rate of Photon UI grew steadily while valuable. Maybe they're honest. Maybe they're not talking about the 80% of players at the first week, right? Maybe they're right. Maybe people are actually using Photon UI and going, cool, we don't care. We're just going to play the game. And yeah, this is a new way. Possibly. I don't know. I kind of doubt it. From forums, social media, and many customer surveys and interviews. Wow. Aren't you awesome? Yeah, we've seen our customer surveys. They're hilarious. Based on this, many improvements were made over the summer. Yeah, we've seen the bug reports in the patch notes. And yeah, kudos for unscrewing things we hardly ever notice. But anyways, in September, Photon reached 17% opt-in adoption by the user base, which was substantially higher than expected for an opt-in feature. Yes. However, because UI is such an important and complicated subject, more feedback from a wider audience is needed, so we shoved everybody's... Yeah. See, this is just marketing BS for... We wanted to show that people were interested to Perlabus about our new thing, so we decided to need something to brag about, so we just made it opt out. And, by the way, didn't tell the Perlabus people. Slight oversight. In October, we therefore moved to an opt-out approach to Photon, allowing those players who still preferred the classic UI the ability to switch back, but not actually telling them that was an option, and making it easy or explaining it or any kind of documentation because, reasons. But also getting Photon in the hands of users that may not even be aware of its existence. Yes, because why would that be? Oh, it would be difficult, right? So if it's not being aware of its existence, we won't be aware of how to disable it. Alright, so let's play with statistics. Eyes, damn lies, and then there are statistics. So at the end of the first day of opt-out, 84% of players ended their sessions with Photon UI enabled. They've mentioned it was active players, but we don't know what they mean by active players. It could change day to day or at a whim. But on the first day, 84% of players didn't know how to turn it off. Or didn't even bother logging into the game except to get their rewards, so yay. This number has grown steadily, probably downwards and then upwards slowly as new players came to the game who didn't even know it was possible to turn it off, or didn't even know there was a solution, or hadn't grown enough in the game to actually realize they needed to deal with a horrible situation by turning it off. So, to me, my mind, 7% of players currently, since October, are new players. That's how I read it. I mean, I don't want to be cynical, but that's how I read it. Yeah. Anyways, so the new reskin of all base components, all the redesigns, blah blah blah, buttons, styles, color, screen animations, compact mode for air quote combat windows, and many quality of life improvements. So it's just a whole grab ass bag of BS, really. Alrighty. So this is Singularity. I always have Photon UI enabled. Just check it out. This is crap graphics. My apologies, but whatever. I really like their new colors. We can actually see low sec now, thank God. So that's awesome. I do like the colors now. It is quite pretty. I do like that. So kudos for fixing that. It was abysmal before. All right. Now this is interesting. That orange thing, highlighting. Interesting. Okay. Why? Wait, why you? I disabled the blink. Why you? Oh, Jesus Christ. Really? So you're gonna highlight it no matter what I do. Alright, I guess I'll live with this new thing now. Okay, thanks. Jesus Christ. Can I? Oh crap, can I? Okay, alright. Goody, okay. Don't need that, don't need that. What do we got here? Will it click when I... No, it's not. It's doing the same thing, isn't it? Do I get any audio? Let's see, what kind of audio do I have? Okay, I should... Do I click? Let's crank that. I don't even get a click?
active.
Wow. Crazed. That's crazy. So no flash, no confirmation you've clicked the button. Wow. Aren't you freaking geniuses? Alright, sorry. Combat windows. Compact mode for compact windows. And guess what they just did? Yep, that's right, folks. Yeah, that's all they made compact. Let's see if they did anything else. How about this margin? Kind of. Okay, that is an improvement. So the margins. Okay, that's better, I guess. Wow. All right, and I'm going to go for default. Wait, what? Isn't this where I hit reset? Oh God, it's there. Jesus. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, it makes sense for the button to be there. Hey, kudos to them. It makes sense to have it there. And it's one where you usually expects to find reset buttons, right? All right. What do we got? I would prefer travel. Like, honestly, I would have preferred travel to mining, honestly, or, you know. I usually go all for warp tube, but it doesn't matter. Yay them. Alright. Yeah, no real complaints, because I'm hoping that I can do margins. Now, margins are in, they said it was in general, right? Transparency. Ooh. Window margin size. I've only got a choice. Okay, compact. Alright. Okay. Okay, that's cute, but never mind. Never freaking mind. That's just, oh God. Yeah, just gonna, oh my God. Sorry, the standings thing. I need to ignore it. Just don't go there. It's fine, it's fine, move along. Sure, I'm just... Alright. So, Windows compact mode. Everything looks good. How about this? Compact. Now that's... One has to admit that's sexy, isn't it? Oh, can we just please minimize this? Can you minimize to icons, please? Yeah, and then do the alphabetical thing the old way, please, because it worked. You know, functional, as in the functional state, not we're gonna give you more. Jesus Christ. All right. Alright, I need to see the drone window. This is really important.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Because that was the one effed up thing. Tristan, I don't care. Can you just... Oh crap! It's my my market's been screwed on this client for quite a while. I have no idea why. I get around it by going multi-buy. What? Oh right, it was the Paragon thing. Give me a sec. Bye, Paragon.
Warp drive active.
Oh, come on.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
it's Is that what they mean by transitional animations? Well, right, good enough. Let's go, go, go. Derp. All right. Still got the same thing, isn't it? Look. All right. Okay, that's better, I suppose. I mean, that's the best we can hope for, right? All right, I definitely fixed it. That's for sure. We've got the anomalies panel now. That's in Photon UI only. That's exclusive. Okay. So it's definitely looking a lot more compact than the shit show than we first saw. All right. Okay. And I do like the colors. Those are cool. All right. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much my test of it. For now, I'll pop back to normal and see what we've got for multiple overviews.
Docking permission
Stock
requested.
up and
Docking
try
request
that.
accepted.
I might have to restart the client. All right. So okay. Now how do we work it? Can I just, no, one, assumed I could just drag one of them and just move tab to new window. Okay, it's kind of interesting. Can I close it? Oops. Oh dear. Did I just permanently make that a new something I can't get rid of? What? Oops. What? So I wouldn't say I've doubled my lag, but yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to increase the lag. Oh boy. All right, so could I have, now this is interesting. Could I have two types, right? Could I have two types? Like, could I have this and still, like, you know, go back to my old, I'm sure if it's going to reset, well, it'll reset this too, for sure, right? Okay. So if I import, it'll probably screw with that, right? I mean, the ideal would be have two different sets of overviews. That would be cool, like the modularity of Z tac S or S tac Z. Sorry, that would be interesting. But oh my God, what the hell happened there? What? That's screwy. Okay.
Docking
Some
permission
docking
requested.
relaunch,
Docking
see if that
request
fixes
accepted.
it. Yeah, kind of smushed there with the line spacing. Weird. Sorry, drank from the wrong glass. Yeah, I really wish this damn mute button was better. I could actually press it without screwing up my video. A very twitchy button. Sorry about that. All right. It looks even stupider. Just, I was kind of hoping for everything to be compact. That would be kind of smushed together. That'd be really neat. Apparently not. All right. Weird. Definitely a bug, of course. Could be a artifact of singularity. You know, sometimes you're on tranquility and you'll never ever see it. All right. I'm assuming, let's go move tab to new window, right? Pretty sure that's a new thing. And then we'll go, and I'm hoping this stays the same. Damn it. All right, so as you can see, there's no ability to close that window. I might be able to move it though. Let's see. Nope. I can't. So I can't. Can I right click it? Can I right click this and go move tab to? Oh, okay, okay, good. All right, cool. Oh, okay, all right. So basically it's a right click, not a close. Okay, all right. Move tab to new window and then move tab back to there. Okay, that's fine. All right. And it remembers the order too, so that's cute. So yeah, definitely Capital and Fighters. This would be definitely a new window. So yeah, that would be a new window right there. But of course now I've got that too, so that's an issue. But that, I wonder, I could just ignore it or make a new overview. No, that wouldn't work either. Like, maybe. Now it said that it'll remember different column stuff. So if I don't so combat, right? If I'm combat, I'd want to see angular, right? And I'm so not used to this right here. I'm used to the settings being a hamburger or a gearbox. What the? Where are columns? Huh? Wait, what? What? So do I right click? How do I add new freaking columns? Did you actually? No, that's impossible. Did you? Like, what? It's got to be bugged out. Let's overview settings. Go to MISC. Go to reset all, and then I'll no, I can't see. What the? Where are columns? What? Distance, name, type, velocity. Where are my columns? What? No, that's got to be a bug. Yeah, it definitely has to be bugged out. There's no way, right? Tab, bracket, column, 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 column. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah. It's interesting. They're going on. They're will accept the stumbles. I mean, let's not beat them up just because they've stumbled. They did mention columns, so it's obviously something that is a hiccup. So, credit where credit is due. They are, because it's interesting. It would be very interesting to have the ability to screw with the columns, of course, and have them change for every setting. Like combat, you'd have angular, and then you could have PVE as mining. You could have size. Interesting stuff. It is very exciting to be able to customize more. I mean, right? For those who aren't new to the game or go, that's too complicated and I'm never going to do that until like 10 years in the game and they finally actually start maybe customizing. I mean, it took me 10 years to start customizing the game because it's just the complications and complexity is just way too confusing. You end up making the game worse if you start trying to customize stuff. I'm sure you've tried. All right, so Right, inventory window. Inventory, yeah, we better check that because that was hellishly annoying. That's the one reason I won't be using Photon UI.
Request accepted.
Because of the inability to quickly see the folders and go back to see only one folder. Yeah, see, you know, the inability to close the sidebar, right? And it was just annoying as F, right? And you'd have to go here and this. I use the closed sidebar more than I do this. So for that reason alone, and it's huge. That reason alone, I won't be enabling Photon UI. It's simple as that. Just you know. I don't want, see, remember, always filter everything they change through their mantra of what they admitted right at the top. Their version, the nomenclature they use for functional, and a functionality is the current UI is functional. So many players have asked why we chose to embark on a large project like this. And of course it leads into, we want to give you more. And it's like, we don't talk about functionality in the sense of, oh my god, it's so boring and minimal, we want more CCP. No, it's maybe that's, remember, it is not our fault. You gotta realize these are crazy people. We are dealing with a dysfunctional design team. Alright, so multiple overviews are coming December 13th, and multiple overviews will be available, and that's when they reset the opt-out to being opt-out again, so it's going to force feed us everything, this all over again. Including settings for window margin size, updated security colors, transparency controls, and auto UI scaling option. Oh, the auto UI scaling option, that's what's screwing up the... Dovey has been and remains the go-to tool to extract tactical... Wow, you guys are geniuses. It's the only way. Whoa, go-to tool. Yeah, Column visibility, order, and width are now configured and persist per tab instead of globally before. I still can't intuit a way to customize that because it's not visible. Presets have been renamed as filters for improvements throughout. Filters are authored in the blah blah blah. Improved overview, right click menus. Improved overview is already available in Singularity. Okay. Yeah, window size, margin size, security colors, auto UI scaling. Yeah, that's probably causing that issue with the stargates being smushed together and the station on the overview, right? Like that could be something else. Who knows? Light background, transparency controls, yeah, window resize. You know what would be really cool if we could resize that frickin' agency. Oh, yeah. If wishes were horses, beggars would ride. And these hobos are on the racetrack. All right. Okay. Right. That's it. Yay us. It doesn't look like we'll be able to have different imports of different people's customizations, and have those in different windows, but the ability to have, say, something really important as a separate window that you really need to pay attention to, like fighters and stuff, is great. Shooting drones. You'd be able to, you'd be able to fight your target, and then you'd have another window for drones, and then as the person launches the drones, like say in the proving grounds, it would be in a separate, and that's great. I think that's awesome. You know, sometimes space is more cluttered than the proving grounds, so that is a welcome change. I mean, but it still the sticking point for me, since I'm not PvP. I I would really prefer to not use Photon UI, simply because I cannot toggle the sidebar off easily, and that's pretty huge. It's massive for a multi-boxing miner, hauler, stuff like that. So in that, CCP is, I wouldn't say innocently ignorant, cynically ignorant. It's not maliciously ignorant, but just cynically ignorant of, how we see, because they don't know how Eve functions, right? So their idea of functionality is, we want to add more. And it's like, but no, you don't even know how the game works. So how are you, it's just, they just rename it. And it would be an interesting, like, I don't get paid enough, otherwise I'd be able to describe that more. But what kind of psychological profile is embedded in people at CCP when, instead of thinking, I need to play the game more, or we need people to be able to work with us, work at CCP, and understand the simple stumbling blocks and frustrations of players, right? It's been 2 decades, and this development team is still out to lunch. And they always will be, because they're a bunch of ignorant, arrogant, stubborn morons, basically, who know how to punch code numbers. Yeah, great for, passing university and getting an education for coding, one hopes, and then bullshitting your way and kissing ass to get into CCP. Great, awesome. This game improves by fluke alone. Jesus, could you just, yeah, but they're not going to, because, yeah, they're ruled by marketing people. So just drive that out of your heads of what if. It's best to enjoy the game without thinking about what ifs, because it's just going to demoralize the hell out of you. Because there's already enough to get demoralized about when they screw with the game, or when you discover something so screwed up, with the game itself. Like the fact that your drones might guard and assist against rats, but they won't against PvP targets. Your drone bunny, completely useless in a PvP environment, except in nullsec. And that's where you got the idea from, right? Drone bunnies in nullsec, right? The old FC controlling with a target painter a whole bunch of sentry drones, right? That's where you probably got the idea for a drone bunny. And that's probably, look at the drone bunnies from the Incursion. You think, oh, that'd be great against PvP. In low and high sec, it does not work. And a while ago, shortly after I sent in a very detailed video-strewn bug report talking about that, and saying, hey, you might need to take a relook at Crime Watch 2.0, and because it just doesn't make any sense to me. It didn't make any sense. And their solution was just to break the game, basically, and they had no idea they were doing so, and they thought it was great because I gave them an opportunity to rip out code, and that's what they did. And the player base rioted, and they reverted almost instantly. And that's why I'm very, very leery of thinking I can actually give constructive feedback to this clown car of developers. Because they love ripping out code. You've got to realize they love ripping out code. You know? And what have they got to replace with it? You know? So, yeah, I just really hope this Photon UI is opt-out forever. You know? That we've got the option to opt out. And multiple overviews. Like, it looks interesting. The missing columns is worrying, but it's interesting. The Photon UI is interesting now that they've got a lot of the compact stuff dialed in. The lack of customization and just the idiot decisions, you know. Yeah, but I think I talked about as much as I can, let you guys know what a veteran thinks about it, but that's about it. I love the colors. I honestly really love the colors. They're great. That's really awesome. So that's fixed. Kudos to them for getting there. Yeah, that was just so dumb. Yeah, let's cut the pastel colors from important functional stuff. Yeah, the reason for me not using Photon UI is functionality. the wording in their first sentence, or the first paragraph. Oh boy. But yeah, hooray that we don't have to enable Photon UI in order to enable multiple overviews, but I want to test that. All right. So back to the old colors. Boo! I like the Photon UI colors. Why can't I have them too? Wah. Yeah. 100%. Oh yeah, I'll take this button over Photon UIs any freaking day of the week. Oh yeah. And try the drone window, of course. Oh, thank God. All right, good facts. Yeah, sorry, CCP. This is, yeah, I'm 100% happy about this. Now then, can I? Uh-oh. Oh, shit. You sons of bitches. You sons of bitches. You sons of bitches. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I'll take compact mode. Oh, and functionality, yes, please. Yeah. Yeah. Nope. For drone window, for compact, I don't care about the colors. I'm fine. Morons. It's just, and yeah, and the freaking, yeah, and the ability to just go like that. Just go, oh, okay, or you know, go to the ore hold or whatever, or fleet. You know, it's just, holy Jesus Christ. do they say anything about? Yeah, because it's embedded in the implication of resetting opt-out for photon when December 13 rolls around. But god damn it. There it is, right, explicitly. All right. So you have to get almost all the way to the bottom to realize, yeah. So the T's and then the fine print. Fair enough. I'm sure I was jumping to conclusions. Are not in any way implied heavily. So improving Photon UI. Yeah, well, it wasn't explicit in the beginning, wasn't it? I just saw that and just got excited. Because, you know, I can disable, you know. Because it looked like one, yeah. It didn't look indented, right? It didn't look indented at all. And it should have been, but it wasn't. So visually it implied what I was assuming that I could, you know. And I'll leave the video as is because I'll do a TLDR for sure, DW for sure at the beginning and clip it to the beginning. That'll be important to get because I think a lot of people looking at this and skimming through and not really reading but looking will go, oh, I don't need Photon UI, but I can do multiple overviews. Even though it's right in the title and even though it's way down at the bottom, fine print in parentheses, but you know, you might not read till you experience it, and of course it's like, oops. But I'm sure if you hop in the game, you'll find out soon enough that it's how many people will be excited about this and think they can have classic with multiple views, right? Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, it's right there. But it's, to me, pictures tell 1,000 words, and this sure told me 1,000 words. And I probably spoke 1,000 words until I figured it out. Well, anyways, have yourself a good day.